I knew in grade 5 at age 10 that I wasn't going to go to college. I knew that it wasn't something that was going to work for me because I always felt like I wasn't ever going to be smart enough for it. I don't think I'm dumb, but when it comes to numbers, my brain just blanks, and I'm not very good at articulating my thoughts. I've never been good at math, or I think that's a common thing, but genuinely when it comes to numbers, my brain just blanks. Like, you could tell me the time, it's gonna take a while for my brain to comprehend what someone just said. Like, I don't know, that's just how my brain has always been. But just to get back on track here, when I was 17, I didn't have the same mentality when I did when I was 10, obviously, but I mean, I didn't think I was dumb. At that point, I figured out and I grew and learned how I learn. I figured out the easiest way for me to understand things and learn things. So I taught myself. But even at that, even doing that, I knew that college still wasn't for me. It wasn't the place that I wanted to go. It's not the place that I want to go. My mentality was more, wow, people really go to school for 14 years. That's counting from junior kindergarten all the way up to grade 12. People really go to school for 14 years. And at the age of 17 or 18, they have to figure out what they want to do with the rest of their lives. Then they spend years and thousands of dollars in school just to come to the conclusion by the time they're like, 22, 23, that maybe they don't like what they majored in, or they didn't like the subject that they chose, or they're no longer interested in it, so they choose something else, or therefore spending more money. And your brain isn't even fully developed until you're 25. I don't understand how I'm expected to know what I want to do for the rest of my life at 17. It doesn't make any sense to me. College is a lot more accessible now in 2021 than it was in the 90s, but it's also a lot more expensive. And to be quite frank, you can call me lazy, or I don't know, I'm not lazy. I don't want to clock in every day at the same job every day. Like, I don't want to punch in every day at the same time, doing the same work every single day. And there are jobs that you can do different things every day, but those aren't the jobs that I want. I don't want to be a doctor. I don't want to be a police officer, although I considered it, but no, it's just not for me. And I think for many people, making videos like this, I love, I have a passion for, but it doesn't put food on the table. It doesn't pay rent. It won't get me approved for a mortgage, at least for now. I don't have the most organized thoughts. I can't always speak out of my brain, so I did write some of this down for myself to read off of, because I can get off track really easily. And yeah, so I'm just gonna read it. So what I wrote was kind of like how the cycle was back in the 80s or 90s or whatever, when all we had to do was get into a program, study it, and then find a steady job and work that for the rest of our lives. Now it's kind of more like way more competitive, as I was saying. Take a couple courses and spend a bit more money so you can have more experience and qualifications for the job that you'll have for the rest of your life, so you can hopefully buy a house, raise a family, while still paying off, I put playing, but I meant paying off your debt. And maybe you'll get a vacation soon enough, or maybe you want to show your boss that you have a bit more dedication and hardworking, so you can move up in the company, so you don't take that vacation. You know, you want a raise, so maybe you'll get that vacation when you retire. But I don't know about you, but I don't want to live like that. You know, my grandma lived like that, and she died a month before she got to retire because she was stressing. She's been working this job for over, I don't know how long, but over 20 years. I mean, I don't know, I'm almost 20, so she was working this job a very long time. I don't know, but that's not the life that I want to live. But I also don't want to live in stress over the fact that I didn't go to college, and it's kind of like you work the same job to get a steady pay, or you live your life, you don't have that steady pay, you may go homeless, or you can live an amazing life where you don't have a lot of money, but you're just still better than a 9 to 5. You know, there are obvious exceptions. You know, we've heard this before. There are obvious exceptions: doctors, lawyers, real estate agents, whatever. Go to college, do your thing. But it's not the job for me. Instead of going to school for 4 years and getting yourself in $90,000 in debt, I know someone in that situation right now. They said 100,000, but maybe they're being dramatic. I don't know. But I put it down to 90,000. Instead of spending 90,000 on knowledge on how to start a business, maybe just start a business. I know that's risky, but I feel like you can learn so much in an online course that maybe costs like $60. Maybe $60 monthly, but it would still be worth it because I feel like you're learning the same things you probably would have learned in business school, faster and cheaper. You know, it's up to you to put that knowledge to work, you know, because you could go to business school and end up having to run or be the manager for someone else's business. And I feel like that's where a majority of people, what happens to a majority of people, they become this manager at some hot shot place and they think they've made it, but really you're still working for someone else at the end of the day. And this isn't to bash anyone that goes to business school. Like, go, yeah, do your thing. I think out of all the different things that you can go to school for, that's up there in like my top 10, because it still is useful at the end of the day, but it's just not for me. And I'm still figuring out what is for me. My family thinks I'm in college. They think I am doing this work, and every time I go around them, I kind of have to pretend like, yeah, I was working on this assignment, or, you know, it's a good excuse to get out of things, genuinely. Yeah, my professor wants me to do this thing, and yeah, I don't even know how college works, to be quite frank. Like, I don't know if it's operated like kind of like high school, like is it, I have no idea. Do you take that one course that you set out to study, or is it kind of like high school where you have that one course that you want to study, but you also have like English class, math? Like, is that how it? I have no idea. And my little cousin, she just started high school, and I guess she's, you know, interested on how college works. She literally asked me that the other day, and I had no idea. I had to pretend the phone was like cutting out. I had no idea what to tell her because I genuinely have no idea how college works. But yeah, that's where I'm at in my life. It's not that I'm lazy. It's not that I don't want to work. It's just I don't want to work the same job for the rest of my life. I do different things. I'm a human being. We change what we want to do every 5 seconds, and I don't see why, at least at my age, that I have to choose what I want to do, you know? Like right now, I'm just working a regular job. Pays pretty good, but I know that when I have to start paying rent and have to like officially adult, probably like move out, I'll have to start paying bills and it won't be enough. And that's scary, but because I don't know what I'm gonna do. And hopefully I can look back at these videos and be like, oh, you were worrying about nothing. You had nothing to worry about. But I don't know.
Oh my god, it's a fucking beaver!
Good thing I moved. I don't know if I got that on camera, but I've never been that close to a beaver in my life. I've seen them from afar, but I've never actually been that close to one. And it was running towards me. What if I died? Oh my god. I'm done filming out here.